Ladies and gentlemen, every single day we're wondering what kind of news are we going to get, what kind of leaks. And for the most part, I do my best job to bring you the most exciting news. But this week is going to be major for gamers, but especially Nintendo fans. So we're going to talk about that, as well as some new Switch 2 updates, rumors, leaks, all that good stuff as well. So let's go and get right into this video. First, I just gotta say thank you so much for 21,000 subscribers. To me, it sounds like I have 50 billion subscribers, but in the grand scheme of things, that's like really nothing compared to the other YouTubers you guys watch. But it doesn't matter. I am forever grateful, forever indebted, and I just want to say thank you for being part of this community. Man, this week is going to be so damn exciting, and this week is going to take us into, next week and the next month, and we are about to go on a run with a Nintendo Switch 2. So before we get started, if you could hit a like and subscribe, that would truly mean the world to me. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram so we can keep our communities growing. And stay tuned to the end of the video so you can learn how to win some eShop gift cards or potentially a Nintendo Switch 2. Now let's go ahead and get into it. First, let's talk about one of the most exciting Nintendo Switch 2 games coming up. And it is dual release on the Switch. And I don't think the Switch version looks that bad, but I do think it is a huge step up on the Nintendo Switch 2, and that is Pokemon Legends ZA. Now, we had Pokemon Worlds going on pretty much the past couple days, and there was a playable demo of this up there, and then people were just abusing the demo pretty much, learning everything that they possibly could. And I actually wonder if Nintendo will let us play that demo before the game comes out. I don't know if they've ever did a demo for a Pokemon game before. Now, like I was saying, we learned quite a bit from that demo, but the first thing that I would really like to talk about is the map, because it didn't make me too excited when I learned that the game takes place in just one city. I'm not saying it's going to be a bad thing, but I love, Pokemon games where you're like, okay, well, this region has this theme, and this town has this theme, and this area has this theme, and now I'm on a mountain, and now I'm on the beach, and all this stuff. So that's one thing I really like. I'm not so sure how it's going to work just all in one city, but I was curious, is it even going to be all in one city? But from this demo, we have now seen the map of the game, and it in fact takes place in one city. I will say, after seeing the map, I do think there's a little bit more going on than initially met my eyes, and I think there's going to be some surprises, and I don't know if they've already said this, but I feel like there's going to be a whole underground area as well. And I've seen you're running on the rooftops and stuff. So I think there is a variety of stuff happening there, but this is interesting. That's what I'll say. Now, quickly, something else that you might not care about if you're not a Pokemon fan. In the older games, when you were poisoned in Pokemon, when you're walking around, you would take damage and it would make it stressful. It's like, okay, I need an antidote. Okay, I need to get to Pokemon Center. I guess in Pokemon Black, they took that feature away, and I never realized that they did that. But that feature is finally coming back 15 years later in Pokemon Legends EA. And that's awesome, man. I think it's going to make the game more challenging and just a little bit more fun. There's a bunch of news out there as well about the Mega Evolutions and a million other things. But these are just a few things I wanted to talk about quickly. Now, something else cool we just learned or got information about is one of the companies that worked on a recent Nintendo Switch 2 port. And we got 2 Nintendo Switch 2 ports recently. Every time I say ports, I want to say sports, and then I start thinking about Switch Sports. Very confusing. But we got 2 Nintendo Switch 2 ports recently. One of them was great. One of them was not great. It's cool we have Madden, but it could be better, and hopefully it will be better one day. But the WWE port is very impressive, and we finally know who did that port, and I think it's promising. So it is finally confirmed that Shiver Entertainment did the port of WWE 2K25. So I was curious what other things they worked on, because they normally just work on Nintendo stuff. I'll be putting it on the screen. It's not that much stuff. A couple Scribblenauts games, some Mortal Kombat, Hogwarts Legacy, and WWE 2K25. Now, I do think over time their ports are getting better. So that's why I'm saying this is pretty promising. But it turns out Shiver Entertainment actually sold their studio to Nintendo in 2024. So Nintendo recently acquired this studio. And wouldn't you know it, once Nintendo acquired the studio, their ports are the best that they've ever been. So that's what I'm saying. This makes me think there's some more promising ports coming up in the future. And for a long time, for the foreseeable future at least, as long as Nintendo owns this company. So if they're anything like WWE 2K25, we are in for some treats. Now, I know this isn't gaming news like per se, but I do think it's awesome, especially if you're a fan of it. Oh, I don't even have my hat on. You guys know I always wear a King of the Hill hat. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. The reboot finally came out, and I think it is one of the best reboots of all time. I haven't finished it yet. It is so damn good. But there's a small scene in the new King of the Hill, and I think it's just worth checking out. This is Bobby and Joseph just hanging out, playing some video games, and on the table there is a Nintendo Switch. You could be like, well, is it a Switch? Is it not? It's 100% a Nintendo Switch. So, I mean, I just think this is neat. So I wanted to talk about it briefly. Now, we also got some new information about a new Switch 2 game coming up that is making me cautious. I want to play it. I have a PlayStation 5. I could play it there. But ever since the rumor hit that it was coming to the Switch 2, probably when this game launched, I was like, I'll just wait for that. It should be fine on the Switch 2. But it's also releasing on the Switch, and I don't know how the hell that's possible. And I'm talking about Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero, or Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I guess there's no Z in there. So Bandai Namco provided more information about this game and how it performs on the Switch and Switch 2. The game features dynamic resolution on Nintendo Switch 2, which outputs at 810p in both docked and handheld mode. The game will not be a buttery smooth 60 frames per second, but will instead be capped at 30 frames per second. I'll be honest, I don't really care about frame rates at all, especially when it has this cel shaded comic booky art style. I think it just looks really good. So I think this is perfectly fine for the Switch 2, especially because we're playing it handheld. But brother, let me tell you about how bad this game is taking a hit on the Switch. The Switch version of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is 720 docked and 480p played in handheld mode. Allegedly is locked at 30 frames per second, although it can dip on menus. That sounds like a nightmare. It's like, this is what we're doing in 2025? I get it. The Nintendo Switch is damn near a decade old, so it is what it is, but this is crazy. There is no reason, I'll be honest, no reason at all that I think this game should even come over to the Switch. Does that sound harsh to people who only own a Switch? Yeah, I guess. You know what I mean? Play it how you can, but I don't even think it's worth picking up over there. And I gotta assume it's gonna run like dog doo-doo on a hot summer day. So, just a little information on this game. I'm still excited, but I would beware of that Switch version. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't the news that I was talking about coming out this week. We have so much stuff happening this week. The biggest thing that's happening is Gamescom. That will be happening on Wednesday, I believe, the 20th through the 25th. Now, we know a bunch of companies are going to be there, and Nintendo is there in a major way. There's a map going around of Gamescom and the layout, and Nintendo is taking over a huge part of it. What's more exciting is all the games they're showing off. I feel like every game that they are showing off is going to release in 2025. At least I think so. I'm trying to scan the games through my head right now. A lot of these games do not have release dates, but they're done, So where are they? I think Gamescom is going to be the soft, not launch, but soft promotion for these. I think they're going to show these off at Gamescom, start getting us hyped, and then what happens within a week or two? Well, we start getting into that Nintendo Direct season. The reason why I'm calling it a season is because of all the things that are happening. We always get a Direct in September, so, we're probably going to get that. It's going to be a huge first-party one. We also have Mario's 40th anniversary, so that's pretty exciting. We have Gamescom this week, and then I'm assuming we're going to get Directs for games like Metroid Prime, probably a Pokemon Direct. I'm probably missing another game or two, but I'm just assuming that's the way it's going to go. Now, you could say, well, Mr. Robot Joe, we'll probably just get that Mario 40th anniversary Direct and nothing else. But I don't think that's the case at all, because we have Sakurai themselves saying, it doesn't matter to most people, but today Sora Co. Limited is celebrating its 20th anniversary. That's a long time. Thank you for your continued support. The new game Kirby Air Rider hasn't even shown gameplay footage yet, but I think we'll be able to share some new information soon. So please wait. Where else are they going to show this off? I'm not saying Nintendo couldn't drop it on the dumbass Nintendo Today app, and it wouldn't surprise me, but I think this game is launching this year. Actually, I think it might be confirmed for this year. I could be wrong, but for some reason I think it's coming out this year, and they're definitely going to show this off at a Nintendo Direct. So this wouldn't be in the Mario 40th Anniversary Direct. This would be in the standard first-party Direct. So we have Gamescom happening, which is huge third-party news for the Switch, but they also have some first-party stuff there as well. We have Mario's 40th anniversary coming up, I believe on September 13th. And I went back and watched the trailer from last year, and I think they launched the 35th anniversary trailer and all the stuff like a week before. So, that's like 2 weeks away. And then we're going to have that huge first-party Direct. We're going to have random-ass Nintendo announcements. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. There's a rumor going around right now that there's a new Resident Evil game coming out for the Switch 2, and apparently it's going to be shown off this week. That's just what I'm seeing on Twitter. I can't remember who said this first. It might have been Switch Force, maybe. So shout out to whoever said it first. I just briefly read it, but there's some stuff happening this week is the point I'm trying to make. So very exciting stuff. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. I would love to hear from you guys. And remember, thank you so much for 21,000 subscribers. It really means the world to me. So hit a like and subscribe if you could. Follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram because we're growing on both platforms. That's pretty cool. And I'm just waiting for an embargo to pass. It should be passing any day. And then I'll be streaming multiple games in the next couple days. And then I'll be giving away a copy of every game we stream. The Discord is in the description. Consider becoming a channel member. That would really help support this channel. And you guys know me. I'll see you very soon with a new video. Peace out.